I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magab, it's time for the only news that matters. And Rush frontman Geddy Lee has always come across as one of the most honest figures in rock music. Throughout his career, Lee delivered many frank opinions on his work, ranging from the enlightening to the damning. Perhaps this realism is partly to do with the fact that Rush has a career that saw them establish themselves as one of the premier prog rock bands while releasing several notable misfires along the way. According to Geddy Lee, Rush were openly mocked for one of their songs, Xanadu, the 11-minute epic found on 1977's Farewell to King album. Being the butt of the joke came from the hard rock band UFO, who they toured with, as well as fans, who brought signs mocking the track's lyrics. In the 2010 documentary Beyond the Light of Stage, Lee recalls getting relentlessly ridiculed by seemingly everybody outside the band during this period. In addition to that, it wasn't just the music that came under fire. Even their choice of wardrobe got a lot of crap. In the movie, Lee says, UFO would call me Glee. I would go outside and there would be a pair of fuzzy white slippers nailed to the stage. And I'd hear, that goes perfect with your robe, Glee. Lee also remembered some fans specifically poking fun at the lyrics. I have dined on honeydew. A Farewell to Kings is a contentious chapter in Rush's discography with songs like Xanadu. This wasn't the first time that the band has experienced a challenging reception. The album, long discussed as the worst Rush album, is 1975's Caress of Steel. While the record marked a turning point in the sound, moving for a more prog sound than the blue-based hard rock they were doing before, the darker sonics out there failed to land. Sales were poor and the label Mercury nearly dropped the group entirely. When speaking to Guitar Player in 1980, Rush guitarist Alex Lifeson looked back at that monumentous period and revealed that it was the only time he ever considered quitting the group. Nothing the complex significance of the record in the story, he said. Without Caress of Steel, we could have never done 2112. And the latter, for us, was coming like back with a vengeance. And he added, it was at the time we said, okay, everybody wants to do nice short songs like we did on the first album. Do we do that, or do we pack it in, or do we say, screw you, we'll do whatever we want? The last is what we decided to do, and we came back punching with 2112. That album still feels, to me, when I listen to it today, I can feel the hostility hanging out. Despite Caress of Steel also opened the gates to one of Rush's most fertile chapters. When speaking to Classic Rock magazine in 2020, he still named it the worst record ever when asked. He says, immediately Caress of Steel comes to mind. But I've met so many fans out there who love that record. And I think Presto disappointed a lot of fans. The songwriting was a little flat. That's Alex Lifeson, or is that Geddy Lee? I don't know. The headline said Geddy Lee says that Caress of Steel is the worst album, and here it looks like Alex is saying it too. But Alex is also saying that a lot of fans he's met loved it. And I've never met him, but I'm one of those fans. I absolutely love Caress of Steel. Bastille Day, Lakeside Park. Jesus, the Necromancer. I think it's an awesome album. I absolutely love it. But I will agree, man, that Presto was disappointing to me. I'm one of those lot of fans he's talking about. But I think the worst would be, what's the one with the red bubble? Hold Your Fire. That one, though I was not a fan at all at Power Windows, I stopped at Grace Under Pressure. A lot of people didn't like Grace Under Pressure because that's when it went full keyboard. But I loved it. I loved that album. And it was full keyboard and I still loved it. But then after that, it remained full keyboard, but it was just songs that did nothing for me. I can't think of a single song I like until Counterparts. You know, when Counterparts came out, because I didn't like Presto, Roll the Bones, Hold Your Fire, Power Windows, and whatever else. If there's anything else in there, it wasn't until Counterparts I got back on board. And I stopped seeing Rush all the way on singles. I didn't see the Grace Under Pressure tour. I didn't see them till Test of Echoes. So there was a huge gap between, my Rush fandom. But it came back, and I enjoyed all the Rush albums they did after that, Snakes and Ladders, and especially the last one. I absolutely love Clockwork Angel. I love the last song, The Garden. It's such an appropriate ending to Rush. The lyrics are really heartfelt. I love the music. I love that whole album. I think that's the best album they've done since Signals. I'll even put it above Grace Under Pressure. And I know I'll be alone on this one. I don't think a lot of people will agree with me on this. But I absolutely loved their robes and their kimonos and the way they were dressing in the 70s. It was out there, but it was awesome. I absolutely loved it, but obviously everybody else didn't like it. And then looking back now, Rush is ashamed of all that, but I loved it. I loved the kimono look. It was so 70s, and they were just awesome, man. I mean, forget the way they dress, and yeah, Dying on Honeydew, making fun of those lyrics. I don't see nothing. I mean, what's so bad about Dining on Honeydew? A song about Xanadu living, in this like weird situation, and I'll take that over, Sammy Hagar lyrics that are just like, straight up to her lunch pail. I want what I wanted. I mean, that stupid video. I don't mind, talking about Dining on Honeydew. Xanadu is an awesome song. One of my favorite Rush songs. And making fun of that, whatever. It's ridiculous to me. I see nothing to make fun of. I love the lyrics. I love the music. And I love the wardrobe. And I'm so lucky, at least I got to see Rush many times. Starting way back on the Moving Pictures tour. I saw Exit Stage Left tour. I saw the Signals tour. And the last several tours they did. Time Machine, Snakes and Ladders. I saw Clockwork Angels twice. I flew to New Orleans to see the final tour, which they kind of hinted at, and yes, as we can all see, it ended up being the final tour, because hopefully, and really, I mean, I feel sorry for everybody that hasn't seen Rush, but screw you. I don't want Rush to tour without Neil Peart. The only way I would allow something like that is if they were to do a tour while playing only the first album with John Rusty on drums. But John Rusty died as well, so that's it. Hey, look, I'm sorry all you people that love Rush that never got to see him, but what's more important is that I got to see them many times, and they were always awesome, and yes, I miss them, but they were around for 40 years, man. You gotta give them that. And they survived, almost being dropped by the label, and then they went and they gave the label 2112 after the label said they wanted short songs, and it still, sold a lot of records. It saved them because they stuck to their guns. They stuck to who they are. I may not like Hold Your Fire and all that stuff that they released during that period. But they liked it. They were happy with it. So there you go. You know, I'm not complaining. They were doing what they want. It's like, you know, Metallica. They do what they want. A lot of the stuff I don't like. But hey, they like it. So there you go. Jesus. They even like Lulu. That's insane, right? But anyway, that's it for the only news that matters. Rush rules, and so do you. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and press the little notification bell. And you know what's really good for the YouTube algorithms is if you like this video and leave a comment below. What do you feel about Rush? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Are you in between? What's your favorite Rush album? What's your favorite Rush song? I love reading stuff from the people that follow my channel that I do not take for granted. I love you all. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.